Hey everybody, before we jump right into the action, I just wanted to let you know that these things are streamed on Twitch, and if you wanna hang out with me while I'm live, you can follow the channel, will be the first link in the description. Okay, getting the white pieces. Gonna be trying out the London system, you know it by now. And gonna be starting with knight f3 against d5. This is how a man of culture plays the London system. We don't just develop the bishop directly. We play the knight first, and then we do the bishop and d3. And already 1100 person goes for c5 in the opening, which is a little bit unexpected, I would say. And now, after we make the c3 move, we get into one of the most common positions where bishop d6 is the main move. They could do bishop e7, they could do takes, they could do queen b6. Everything is covered in the course, and usually, as a rule of thumb against an early queen b6 move, if rook b1 is a legal move, we play it. So that's what we're gonna do. If that's not a move, then if we can play knight c3, sacrificing the pawn combined with knight b5 is the second alternative. And if, okay, that's not it, then we play queen c1. Those are basically the rules. So here just rook b1, queen b3 is not that great because of c4. Just rook b1, protecting this. Usually people combine this queen b6 with a knight h5 move. Otherwise, well, even in that line, I don't think it's great for black or anything. In dc5 and b4 is quite strong. We're just gonna be playing it in normal fashion, I guess. And the queen is a little bit misplaced on b6. Plays h6. Pretty strange opening play by my opponent. Just gonna do knight e5. Taking with a pawn, obviously. Delaying castling a bit. I think the knight e5 plan is definitely to be preferred. Gonna do DE, hit a knight, he's forced to go to like G8 or maybe H7. Anyways, none of those squares look particularly appealing. Here's one idea though, to trade off the bishops. I think we can castle and on bishop b5 there might be c4. dc4, knight takes c4. I think that's okay for us. You can also think of b4. But yeah, I just think this and bishop b5, c4 should be good enough. Because we gain a tempo against the queen. And we open up the position. His king is still in the middle. So he plays knight g5. Problem is that the knight doesn't really have much to do there. Can even go h4. Kick it back. Thinking to start queen g4. Just hitting the knight. Well, problem whenever you play queen b3, you can do c4. And if you have to trade on b6, that's not great. That's why we don't really play with queen b3 here. But generally it could be. Only if there's no this c4 move. So okay, how do we approach this? I think queen g4 is generally a strong move, so just gonna play it. And same idea to meet bishop b5 with c4. dc4, take it with a knight. Wow, he goes long castle. Interesting. Now, okay, when we have opposite castlings, what you should think of it, the faster player wins generally, so this is first move that comes to mind. He will try to block it with c4 though. Do we mind? I think we just go back and we should have good position. Probably that's still a move. Could also do c4 first. Yeah, let's just do c4 first. I have a feeling this might be interesting just so We're stopping his pawn, and then we want to go like a3, b4. Not interested to collect the so-called free pawn on g5. I don't think that's what we need here. And bishop c6 could maybe interesting for my opponent, but maybe even have a line to take and play knight c4. So I'm just taking it with a knight, hitting the queen. And on queen c7, I'm thinking to just go b4 directly, try to open things up. Idea to go bc and open up the b file. And in the position, there's also a pretty annoying knight d6 check that I have in mind. Because as the bishop takes, take it with a pawn, queen is under attack, and idea to take. A lot of pressure on the queen side as well. Yeah, bishop e7, but now I think simple check is just crashing. Kind of has to take, and then we attack his queen. Queen c6 expected, but can either do bc or rook fc1, hitting the c5 pawn. And okay, on queen b8, this is like the simple move. Maybe 1 c5, till after bishop f5. We should have a win because there is too much attack. We also do this move. Idea to take with the rook. Maybe even more precise, just to keep the open file. Pretty huge threat of playing rook c5 and then bishop c6. There will be b5, just picking up the bishop. So if he starts bishop c6 now, maybe same idea with rook c5, or I could also think about throwing in b5. Actually, bishop c6 is also allowing me to play d7 and win the queen. So yeah, e5, but problem is that he can no longer play bishop c6 now and his queen is hanging. So he could do queen there, but can just take it with a check. That is pretty funny picture. Yeah, so he's forced to do that and take with the rook, pick up the bishop. That's just pretty easy. Rook d7, take back with a queen. So yeah, pretty interesting opening by my opponent there. He went for the early queen b6, but the follow-up was not amazing. But he had an idea in the opening, which is interesting, especially as an 1100. I don't really see too many players going for the early c5 with queen b6, so that was interesting. But I think as long as you apply this 95 plan, you should be doing quite well in these lines. Getting the white pieces. Gonna be going d4, and we run against the little fianchetto. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna be trying out the London repertoire. But opponent plays it in interesting fashion, and now if I do knight e2, e5 is kind of okay for black. So I think we do it with e4, and then we e5 we take in a better version. And now, actually, I don't think we have this as part of the course, but I was forced to do king takes, and I think I would have had to go bishop e3. But after knight e8, we can just win the clean pawn. Simply extra pawn from the opening. Can take, we go bishop b5 as well. Pinning him. Let's just do bishop b5, try to develop with tempo. Take this way, just force as many trades as I can. 92. Develop the knight. Get ourselves castled as well. Now just make sure the knight doesn't get any funny jumps. So we play f3. Idea to move the knight away and trade both rooks with the extra pawn in the knight endgame. We should definitely have a pretty easy time converting. That's a good move, stopping 95. But should have been good enough to hold. Maybe knight there is strong. In case of 95, f4. Knight has to move and we win c6. On knight g4. I think same knight c6 should be good. And yeah, I saw that move, but I thought it's quite weakening. And he's attacking our knight, but we can collect his and pick up f7 pawn. So now we're actually up 2 pawns and our rook is very active and managed to pick up the third pawn. Now it's just time to start pushing them. We'll need to bring the king over. So just keep it on e2 so that we don't allow rook d1. This is next. Just trying to win even more pawns. Tag the c pawn. Push g4. Rook 8, a3. And there's simply no counterplay. There's that, but you can start pushing. And probably at this point I can even give up the rook and win. But just gonna be keeping it. Just push the pawn. Just do this and bring the f pawn. Need to be careful just not to stalemate at this point. Sacrifice that because he won't be able to stop it. Okay, there's rook f8. We're about to get a clean queen. Yeah, one resigns and we managed to get a game. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for making it this far into the video. And if you're interested in checking out my London system course, will be the first link in description. So thanks again and I'll see you around on the channel. Take care.